I need medical. I need police. Dead. What the fuck are you gonna do?
You did that to my baby. Like, how?
I know you're upset with me, but I can't. I was want my baby back,
She's not coming back, bro. She's not.
I know.
Men, please be aware who you keep around your children. I'm gonna spread awareness of this because this is not right. She was on the spectrum, so she was nonverbal, but she communicated through music and she communicated through sign language. Why is this world so evil? She took my baby. I can't see her grow up into the woman I knew she was gonna be because of a woman I didn't even know.
She was defenseless. She didn't deserve none of this. I wake up, I look for my baby. I'm still looking for my baby.
Flashing red and blue lights cut through the pre-dawn darkness as Las Vegas police rushed to an apartment complex near Eastern Avenue and Flamingo Road. A heart-wrenching 911 call had come in at 3:36 a.m. from a frantic father screaming that his 3-year-old daughter had been attacked by her babysitter. What makes this tragedy even more haunting is how quickly it unfolded and how utterly unsuspecting the father was upon walking into it. Jeremy Ross finished his night shift and returned home at around 3:30 in the morning. He expected to quietly peek in on his sleeping daughter, but instead he stepped into a nightmare. Entering the apartment, he noticed something was strange. Marketta was on the kitchen floor, lying on her side with what looked like dried red fluid on her arms. At first, Jeremy was startled and confused, even thought perhaps she had hurt herself accidentally while cooking since there was red fluid visible. But the father's concern quickly shifted to panic. He rushed past the woman on the floor and ran to Journey's bedroom.
I'll say, okay, here's the milk. The food is right here. Everything, no arguments, no nothing, Everything was good.
But when he got home at 3:30, he walked into a nightmare.
I see some knives around here and stuff, So I see on the knives, I'm like, why is some... So I instantly run, checking my baby girl.
Hello, do you need police, fire, medical?
I need medical. I need
Stand on line
police.
for medical.
You killed my baby.
Stand on line for medical.
My baby is not breathing. My baby got blood all over the goddamn bed. What the are you gonna do?
Metro released this arrest report detailing the crime scene. Detectives located multiple kitchen knives and a pair of scissors. 3 sheets of paper with notes in red marker were on the floor with the words, "See what happens when you blank with people's lives? Now we both have nothing." Written on a wall in the bedroom in bed, the words, "Everybody that played me is cursed."
I came in the house 3:30. I seen her in the kitchen, laying on her side, and it was like dried up blood, And I'm thinking, I thought she was cooking and cut herself. I went to the room and stuff, and I see my baby girl right there, It was just too much. And I instantly called. I was like, "What did you do to my child?" Instantly called 911. Doing chest compression, CPR, and everything for my child. And right when I called 911 is when she booked out the house.
Good morning. My name is Robert Price. I'm the homicide lieutenant for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Today, I'm here to brief you on a homicide that took place at the 4200 block of Channel 10 Drive. The details of this call are: at approximately 3:30 in the morning, LVMPD dispatch received a 911 call from a father stating that the babysitter had just stabbed his child. That father also stated that the babysitter fled on foot and was somewhere in the area. Officers from South Central Area Command immediately responded, and upon their arrival, they located the father and his daughter, and the daughter was suffering from several stab wounds. Those officers immediately began render aid until medical arrived, and upon medical arrival, they transported that child to Sunrise Hospital, where unfortunately that child was pronounced deceased. Officers began immediate canvass of the area, and fortunately we were able to locate the babysitter, who was taken into custody without incident. Homicide detectives have been notified, and we are currently on scene investigating this crime. There's no threat to the public. This is an isolated incident. It's just a very tragic and unfortunate incident.
She was defenseless. She didn't deserve none of this. I wake up, I look for my baby. I'm still looking for my baby.
Journei Rose Ross was a joyful 3-year-old with her whole life ahead of her. Described by her family as very bright and a child who loved to sing, Journei had a personality that could light up any room. She split her time between her parents' homes as her mother and father shared custody, and she was deeply loved in both households. Journei's days were filled with the typical wonder of childhood, including giggling at cartoons and cuddling with family. By all accounts, she was a beloved daughter who brought joy to her parents and everyone around her. In March 2025, Journei was living primarily with her father, Jeremy Ross, in his Las Vegas apartment. He was a devoted dad, working hard to provide for his daughter. He worked a night shift job, which meant that on some evenings he needed a trusted caregiver to watch over Journei while he was at work. Her mother, Flamingo, who lived separately, trusted Jeremy's arrangements and expected that their little girl would be kept safe and cared for in his absence. To help look after his daughter during work nights, Journei often relied on a babysitter named Marketta Phillips, who was 41 years old and in fact was not just a babysitter, but someone who Journei had known closely. She was his girlfriend. Journei later explained that he and Marketta had an on-again, off-again relationship. He had even allowed her to live with him for about a year, and she had watched Journei numerous times in the past. There was a level of trust and familiarity. Journei likely felt safe with Marketta, and Journei felt he had no reason to suspect any danger. On the night of March 25, 2025, the father headed to work as usual, leaving Journei in Marketta's care. Nothing seemed amiss. For the family, it was just a regular weekday evening. Journei's mother, Flamingo, went to sleep that night, assuming her daughter was safe at her father's home. Marketta Phillips was arrested without struggle and taken into police custody while Journei was still en route to the hospital. News of the toddler's passing spread quickly from the hospital to detectives on the case, and what had begun as an incident was now formally a Hummy investigation. A sense of shock hit even the seasoned officers.
The crime scene tape is gone, but the questions remain.
I couldn't believe it. A 3-year-old child, who would do this?
Neighbors at the Villa del Sol apartments expressing a deep sense of loss after what happened here early Wednesday morning.
Once I found out, it just really hit home, hit the heart.
What was going through her head? What is wrong with her?
It's a tragedy that has left a family mourning and a neighborhood struggling to understand how something so sinister could happen.
A sad thing to hear when you put your trust into somebody that's really taking care of, who you really love.
I hope God helps them, because this must be horrible for them. Must be horrible.
A sad thing to hear when you put your trust into somebody that's really taking care of, who you really love.
It's chilling. It's really chilling.
Pretty surprised. I don't know what to say.
It really hurts my heart for that family. That's so sad. Just shocking. I can't believe that.
Investigators walked swiftly to document the crime scene at Jeremy's apartment. Evidence was collected to piece together the sequence of events, the red fluid evidence, the weapon used, any signs of a struggle, all of which would later be crucial in court. By midday the following day, March 26th, the Clark County Coroner's Office had ruled Journei's passing a Hummy caused by multiple knife wounds. Following this, police formally charged Marketta in connection with Journei's passing. she was booked into the Clark County Detention Center on a charge of open fatality with a deadly weapon. An open fatality charge in Nevada means the specifics such as first degree or second degree would be determined as the case goes through the legal process. The big unanswered question remained: why? And it troubled everyone. What could have driven her to commit such a brutal attack against an innocent child? As the investigation unfolded, journalists uncovered a bit of Phillips' background. It appeared that this was not the first time she had faced legal trouble, though nothing in her past hinted at violence against a child.
With the use of a deadly weapon.
The hearing lasting only about 45 seconds.
You will be held without bail.
This isn't the first time that Phillips has been in court. Channel 13 found that she has a previous charge in Las Vegas Justice Court for engaging in lewd conduct in a public place in 2021. Court records show she was, quote, admonished with a warning and the case was dismissed. Journey's parents hope this case has a different outcome.
She deserves no justice. I deserve justice. She doesn't. She needs to be put away.
I think the girl gonna get justice that she deserves. This ain't right.
She is just so darn cute and adorable.
One neighbor did not want to show her face on camera, but knows of the family.
And it's just heartbreaking because it's close to home. I live here. I've seen her. The father, he was an amazing man. Like, he's so nice, family oriented, loved his daughter, proud father. Always bragging about his daughter.
One neighbor who lives diagonally from the unit on the second floor tells me her mother heard noise.
I had the TV on, but my mom said at 3 a.m. she heard a little commotion.
And your mom was awake?
She was asleep, but she was woken up, yes.
When she heard that commotion, was she concerned?
She was concerned, but she didn't want to open the door.
Now, she and others question what causes someone entrusted with care to instead kill a child.
This is scary. You never know what the person might snap.
Is she some kind of mental illness or something, or just evil?
There were also discussions about her mental state, and Jeremy lamented that he did not know she was, quote, a crazy case.
They have offered no motive, but Fox 5 has learned that Phillips was held for a mental health crisis just a week before the attack.
Good morning, Ms. Phillips.
This is Marketta Phillips appearing in court Thursday morning.
You were arrested for open...
Seeing her face, like, for the first time, like, horrible. Like, you did that to my baby. Like, how?
Fallon Whitson is heartbroken.
That was an extension of my soul. Like, that was my baby. I just want to know why. I just want an explanation why. And I want you to go away for a long time.
She been staying with me for a year, you know. She watched Journey numerous times and stuff, but I guess I didn't know she was a crazy case, you know. Like, I knew she had a couple episodes, but nothing on a severe like that, you know.
I wish I'd have never met this woman, you know. I wish I'd have just left her alone.
Journey's father, Jeremy Ross, said 41-year-old Marketta Phillips was at his apartment home quite a bit and was in an on-again, off-again relationship with her.
She was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, you know. I was trying to help her because she wanted help with her music career.
Ross did not notice any signs of mental distress from Phillips, at least none that would lead to this happening.
I thought it was like severe period cramps.
He described what happened early Wednesday morning after he came home from work and saw Phillips in his living room.
Jeremy Ross, Journey's father, shared custody with Whitson. He says Marketta Phillips had been living with him for a year and watched Journey numerous times in the past.
I didn't know she was like a crazy case, you know. She on the bed and everything, and instantly called 911, doing chest compression, CPR, everything.
Journey was then taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead.
She deserved to live, you know.
Marketta was brought before a judge at the Regional Justice Center in Las Vegas for her initial court appearance the day following the tragedy. She stood in the courtroom in protective custody attire, appearing somber and largely silent. She was led in and out of the courtroom as Journey's mother and father could not contain their anguish and anger. For Fallon, it was the first time ever laying her eyes on Marketta Phillips in person. Jeremy, standing beside the mother, was seething with regret and guilt as well as anger. It was a heart-rending scene, the parents in tears, expressing their sorrow and fury while the accused stood quietly under guard. Other court observers and even law enforcement personnel were seen wiping away tears or clenching jaws at the raw display of emotion. In the weeks following Journei's passing, her family has been surrounded by an outpouring of support from the community. Neighbors, friends, and even compassionate strangers have offered condolences, prayers, and help. Stuffed animals and flowers were also left in a small memorial outside the apartment complex. After the initial hearing in late March, Phillips returned to court for a status check on April 1st, which was her most recent appearance at the time of this video. The brief hearing did not involve a full examination of evidence, but ensured the legal process stayed on track. Her defense attorneys did not request bail, stating they needed to review more information. Thus, the judge maintained her no bail status, keeping Phillips in custody. The case is expected to proceed to more substantive hearings in May 2025, where evidence will be presented either to a grand jury or in a preliminary hearing to determine if there is enough proof to bind Phillips over for a trial. Given the severity of the charges, if convicted, Marketta could face the rest of her life in prison.
We learned today that she will remain in jail without bond. Her attorneys saying that they need more time and more information before they can argue for bail. Phillips also briefly speaking during today's hearing when asked by the judge if she had received a copy of the criminal complaint, she simply stated yes.
A small circle of extended family and friends held a private vigil for Journei. They lit candles and released pink balloons into the sky in her memory. Through tears, they shared stories of her love for singing and how excited Journei was about an upcoming 4th birthday that now will never come. May the family and friends of Journei Ross find solace in the happy memories, and may her soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.